crowd. It's so good to see you all here tonight. So I want to say good evening, and on behalf of the State Theater, and I'm excited to welcome you for our radio show performance by the State Theater Acting Company. So I'd like to begin by thanking Pastor Dan Spacek and the First Congregational Church of Auburn for partnering with the theater so that we can continue to have our radio shows here, all during the theater restoration project. We're so grateful for the support of all of the Auburn community. So I'm seeing lots of new faces. So how many of you are at a radio show for the first time? Right on! I love it. So I'd also like to thank some of our sponsors and particularly our Cocktails and Cinema fundraiser sponsors from 2023, our season sponsors, and our film sponsors, all of which are located or are listed on the back of our event calendar. And they all make it possible for the theater to keep operating and bringing you our radio shows and showing films while the theater is undergoing its repair and its restoration. So please support as many of these businesses as you can. It would be a welcome thank you for all of the support of this community treasure. Now, we will continue to host our Golden Age of radio shows here at the First Congregational Church, and our new season will be starting this February. So mark that on your calendars. Also, I want you to take special note of two upcoming holiday film events. First, Irving Berlin's Holiday Inn on Thursday, December 21st, and that'll be right here at the church in the Overmiller Hall. And we're also, this is great, we're doing a Christmas matinee event on Saturday, December 23rd, a special one for children. It's at the Oddfellows Lodge, where Santa and Mrs. Claus will be there. Yeah, so make sure to bring the kids out for that one. And all of this, if you just pick up a copy of the event calendar, all the details and everything's on here. Now, you should know that concessions, if you don't know already, concessions are available in the Overmiller Hall, and we'll have a 20-minute intermission so that you can go over there too. And so one thing that you should know is that there's no food or drinks right here in the sanctuary, so make sure to eat them and drink them before you come in. And we have two special things that we're doing for tonight, or that the concessions people have done for tonight. In honor of the show, we're having hot chocolate and Baileys. Right? You got it? You guys know the show. And we're also having mulled wine. You know that reference too? If you don't, you're going to hear it. Okay, now, a few housekeeping items. I want you to take note of emergency exits, that there are a couple here, and also from where you came in the back. Let's see, bathrooms, you might need those. There's one in the foyer, and they're also in the breezeway in the next building right here. Have you silenced your cell phones? Oh, I see some of you are reaching down, I love that. All right, I'll give you a minute to silence them, because this is the last thing I'm going to talk about before we get going. All right, and now, it's time to go to the radio studio where our actors are busy getting ready for today's show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the State Theater Acting Company's Golden Age of radio performance of It's a Wonderful Life, directed by Rick Schlussel. Before we go live, let's meet our outstanding cast of stars. Amanda Petty, Ren Elser, Patty Baker, Lorraine Poston, Allison Cola, Dan Spacek, Jeff Machado, Stacy Wheeler, Drew Mathis, Scotland McCallum, Mike Mechanic, and yours truly, Dennis Kane. Also bringing their expert talents to our show, our Foley sound effects artist, Jeanette Albrecht, our sound effects lighting and projection designer, Andy Poston, and our soundboard operator, Deborah Olszewski. Okay, I'm getting the sign that we're about to go live. When you see the on-air sign lined up, please help start our broadcast with a rousing round of applause. Okay, let's do a test run. Ready? Now. was awesome. Okay, we know how to do that one again, but let's do it for real. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, young and old, old and new. Greetings from KAST in Auburn, California, right here in the good old US of A. I'm your host, Dennis Kane, and it is our pleasure to bring you your favorite shows this and every month, brought to you by the State Theater Acting Company's Golden Age of Radio Players. Tonight, we bring you the heartwarming, feel-good Christmas classic, It's a Wonderful Life, directed by Rick Schlussel. But first, a word from Carter's.
Waiter! Waiter! Phyllis, did you ever see such poor service? I'm gonna call the manager.
Calm down, Walter. What's really wrong is that you are too grouchy.
I'm sorry, Phyllis, but my digestion is so upset.
What he may need for his poor digestion is something that works out after nature's own order. Try Carter's Little Liver Pills. When your digestion is upset, you feel headachy and irritable, take Carter's Little Liver Pills. You see, each day nature normally produces 2 pints of digestive juices to help digest your food. If nature fails, your food will remain undigested, leaving you headachy and irritable. To feel cheerful and happy again, take Carter's Little Liver Pills. They increase the flow of your vital digestive fluids quickly, often as little as 30 minutes. And you're on the road to feeling better.
Those artificial pills you take, Walter, don't do you any good. Carter's Little Liver Pills aid your digestion after nature's own order.
Carter's Little Liver Pills?
Yes, take Carter's Little Liver Pills as directed. Get them at any drugstore, only 25 cents.
It's too late. No drugstore will be open now.
We'll get Carter's Little Liver Pills first thing in the morning. Meanwhile, look what I have in my purse, Walter.
Are those Carter's Little Liver Pills?
They are indeed. Merry Christmas, Walter.
Merry Christmas, Phyllis. And let's give thanks for Carter's Little Liver Pills.
Now we bring you our feature presentation of It's a Wonderful Life. We begin our story in the little town of Bedford Falls, New York, where a number of people in the town are praying for their dear friend, a typical American dreamer named George Bailey.
Dear God, please look over my husband, George.
George is a good boy. You know that. My son has always gone out of his way to give others a hand. Now it's him who needs the help.
Help my big brother George. He's done so much for all of us. More for me than I remember.
I remember all the times he would stay late after work and not ask a cent. The world needs more like George Bailey.
George Bailey never thinks about himself. I wouldn't have a roof over my head if it wasn't for
If
him.
it wasn't for him, I would have given up long ago. All I think about is myself. I must have taken the last cent he had.
He had no sense of business, that George Bailey. Just like his father. None of the Baileys were ever businessmen. It's his own fault he wasn't prepared for times like these.
I can't help but think it's all my fault. Help him, Father. It's me who's putting him through all this. Something's the matter with Daddy.
Should we pray for him, Mommy?
Yes, Susie, pray. Pray very hard.
The voice is carried heavenward, and Joseph, the superintendent of angels, summons Clarence, an apprentice angel.
You sent for me, sir?
Yes, Clarence, a man down on earth needs our help.
Splendid. Is he sick?
No, worse, he's discouraged. At exactly 10:45 p.m. tonight, Earth time, that man will be thinking seriously of throwing away God's greatest gift.
Oh, dear, his life. Then I've only an hour to dress. What are they wearing now?
You will spend that time getting acquainted with George Bailey.
Sir, if I should accomplish this mission, might I, perchance, win my wings? I've been waiting over 200 years now, and people are beginning to talk.
What's that book you've got there?
Well, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, sir.
I was just reading it when you sent for me.
Oh, fine book, excellent. Well, you do a good job with George Bailey, and we'll see about your wings.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Now, if you're going to help George, you'll want to know a little something about him. Look, see the town?
Why, yes. A group of young boys sledding down a snow-covered hill and onto the ice. This is amazing. Yippee! Who's that?
That's your problem, George Bailey.
A boy?
That's him when he was 12 back in 1919. Something happens here you'll have to remember later on.
And here comes the scare baby, my kid brother, Harry Bailey. And I'm not scared. Yee! Help! Help! Help!
Oh dear, Henry's falling through the ice.
I'm coming, Harry. Make a chain, gang. A chain.
So his brother fell through the ice, but George saved him.
Yes, Clarence, and ever since George has had a bad ear, that icy water, you understand.
Bad ear. Yes, sir.
The other event came months later. George took an after-school job at Old Man Gower's drugstore.
It's me, Mr. Gower, George Bailey.
You're late.
Yes, sir.
Hello, George. Hello, Mary.
Hello, Violet.
2 cents worth of shoelaces, Violet?
Mary was here first.
I'm still thinking.
Shoelaces?
Please, Georgie. I like him.
You like every boy.
What's wrong with that?
Here you are.
Bye, Georgie. See you later, Mary.
Made up your mind yet, Mary?
I'll take chocolate.
Oh, with coconuts?
I don't like coconuts.
You don't like coconuts? Say, brainless, don't you know where coconuts come from? Look at here, from Tahiti, Fiji Islands, the Coral Sea.
What's that you got there? A new magazine? I never saw it before.
Of course you never. Only us explorers can get it. I've been nominated for membership in the National Geographic Society. Let me get your ice cream.
Is this the ear you can't hear on? George Bailey, I'll love you until the day I die.
I'm going out exploring someday. You watch. And I'm going to have a couple of harems and maybe 3 or 4 wives. Wait and see.
George! George!
Yes, sir?
You're not paid to be a canary.
Yes, sir.
Goodbye, George.
Goodbye, Mary.
What was that little paper that George just picked up?
It's a telegram from Mr. Gower. He found out this morning that his son died of influenza.
Oh, awful.
Yes, he spent the afternoon drowning his grief in whiskey.
Mr. Gower, do you want something? Anything?
No!
I mean, anything I can do back here?
No!
I'll pick up those capsules. What's this bottle, Mr. Gower?
Never mind. Take those capsules over to Mrs. Blaine's.
Yes, sir. They have diphtheria there, haven't they, sir? Is it a charge, sir?
Yes, charge.
Mr. Gower, I think that...
Get going!
Yes, sir. Mr. Gower?
What is it?
Mr. Gower, that bottle you used, you put something wrong in those capsules.
Who do you think you're talking to?
Yeah, you're hurting my sore ear.
Did you hear what I said? Get out of here!
Mr. Gower, you don't know what you're doing. You put something wrong in those capsules. I know you're unhappy. You got that telegram and you're upset. It wasn't your fault, Mr. Gower. But look, Mr. Gower, look. This bottle, you use this bottle with these capsules. It's poison.
Poison?
Don't hit my sore ear again.
Oh, poison. George.
All I wanted to do was make sure, Mr. Gower. I won't tell anyone. I know what you're feeling. I won't ever tell a soul. Hope to die I won't.
Oh, George.
Did he ever tell anyone about those pills?
Not a soul.
Did he ever marry the girl? Did he ever go exploring?
We'll get there soon enough, Clarence. When George Bailey grew up, he wanted to go to college, but there just wasn't the money. So he worked 4 years in the Building and Loan Association.
Building and Loan Association.
George's father was in the building and loan business, along with George's Uncle Billy.
George, what's the combination to the safe?
We wrote it down so you wouldn't forget it.
Ah, that's right. Where?
Your wallet, Uncle Billy?
Thanks.
Lovable fellow, just forgetful is all.
Who's that?
That's Henry F. Potter, the richest and meanest man in all the county.
Peter, Potter's here.
Mr. Bailey, Mr. Bailey, Mr. Bailey. There's nothing quite so lonesome as a family business. Now, Peter, you know what I'm here for. I'm on a very tight schedule, a family to evict at 3.
Okay then, Mr. Potter, here's the thing. I just need a little more time. Just 30 short days. I'll dig up that 5,000 somehow.
Have you put any real pressure on these people of yours to pay their mortgages?
Times are hard, Mr. Potter. A lot of people are out of work.
Then for clothes.
I can't do that. These families have children.
They're not my children.
They're somebody's children, Mr. Potter.
Are you running a business or a charity ward?
Well, all right.
Not with my money.
Mr. Potter, what makes you such a hard-skulled character? You have no family, no children. You can't begin to spend all the money you've got.
So, I suppose I should give it to miserable failures like you and that idiot brothers of yours to spend for me.
He's not a failure. You can't say that about my father.
George.
Well, you're not. You're the biggest man in town.
All right, son. Thanks. I'll talk to you tonight.
Don't let him say that to you, Pop.
Tonight?
What kind of business are you running here? Good God, man.
George worked for his father, saving enough to see him through the university. That summer, though he was going to go to Europe, George got a job on a cattle boat and was ready to do a little traveling before college. Old man Gower surprised him with a gift of a great big suitcase. On his way home from the store, he ran into his friends Ernie, the cab driver, and Bert, the cop.
Hey, Ernie!
Hiya, George.
Hey, Bert!
Hey, George, what's a suitcase for?
I'm a rich tourist today. Hey, how about driving me home in style?
Sure, Your Highness. Hop in the cab. And for the carriage trade, I put on my hat.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bailey. Looks like you're ready to get out of here.
Hello, Violet. Hey, you look good. That's some dress you got on there.
Oh, this old thing? Why, I only wear it when I don't care how I look. See you later.
How would you like?
Yes.
Want to come along, Bert? We'll show you the town.
No, thanks. I think I'll go home and see what the wife's doing.
Family man.
George saved up money to go away to college. His bags were packed and he was all set to go.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. It's hard to realize it's the last night in the Bailey boarding house.
We're sure gonna miss you, George.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss you too, Pop. Say, what's the matter? You look tired.
Oh, I had another tussle with old Henry Potter today.
Oh?
I thought when we put him on the board of directors, he'd ease up on us.
I wonder what's eating that old money-grubbing buzzard anyway.
He's a sick man. He's frustrated and sick. Sick in his mind, sick in his soul, if he has one. Hates everybody that has anything he can't have. Hates us mostly, I guess.
Hey, George, can I borrow your tuxedo studs?
Yeah, help yourself, Harry.
Well, where are they? In your suitcase?
I'm not taking a tuxedo on a cattle boat, you know.
Say, where'd you get that fine piece of luggage anyway?
Mr. Gower. A going away present. And one of these days you're going to see that bag all covered with travel labels. Italy, Baghdad.
Hey, why don't you come to the dance tonight?
What, and be bored to death?
Well, you couldn't want a better death. Lots of pretty girls. Hey, I've got to hurry.
I wish we could send Harry to college with you, George.
Yeah, well, we have that all figured out. You see, Harry will take my job at the building and loan, work there for 4 years, and then he'll go.
He's pretty young for that job.
Well, no younger than I was.
You were born older, George. I suppose you've decided what you're going to do when you get out of college.
Oh, well, you know, what I've always talked about. Building things. Design new buildings. Plan modern cities.
Still after that first $1 million before you're 30?
Nah, I'll settle for half that in cash.
Of course, it's just a hope, but you wouldn't consider coming back to the building and loan, would you? I know it's early to talk about it.
I couldn't face being cooped up for the rest of my life in that shabby little office. Well, I mean, I'm sorry, Pop. I didn't mean that remark, but this business of nickels and dimes and spending all your life trying to figure out how to save 3 cents on a length of pipe, I'd go crazy. I want to do something big, you know, something important.
You know, George, I feel that in a small way we are doing something important, satisfying a fundamental urge. It's not too much for a man to want his own roof and walls and a fireplace. And we're helping him get those things in our shabby little office.
I know, Dad. I wish I felt that. But I've been hoarding pennies like a miser in order to. Well, most of my friends have already finished college. I just feel like if I don't get away, I burst.
Yes. Yes, you're right, boy. This town's no place to live if you aren't willing to crawl to Potter. You get yourself an education, then you get out of here.
I'm glad you see what I'm talking about. Let's say, I'm gonna go down on Old Main Street, last night in town and all.
Have a good time, son.
Who's that?
Why, that's why is it big?
The little girl from the candy counter?
That's right.
Hello, Georgie Porgy.
Hello, Vi.
What gives?
Nothing.
Where are you going?
Oh, I'll probably end up at the library.
Georgie, don't you ever get tired of just reading about things?
Yes. Yeah. What are you doing tonight?
Not a thing.
Are you game, Vi? What do you say we make a night of it?
Oh, I'd love it, Georgie. What do we do?
Well, let's go out in the fields and take off our shoes and walk in the grass.
Huh?
Well, then we can go up to Stewart Lake. I mean, it's beautiful up there in the moonlight, and we can swim. And then we can climb Mount Bedford and smell the pines and watch the sunrise against the peaks. And we'll stay up there the whole night. And then everybody be talking, and there'll be a terrific scandal.
George, have you gone crazy? Walking the grass in my bare feet? Why, it's 10 miles up to Mount Bedford. You think that just because you... Oh, what?
Okay, just forget about the whole thing.
Forget about what, George?
Oh, nothing, Sam.
You remember Mary, don't you?
Hi, George.
Hi, Mary.
Say, you wouldn't mind walking Mary home, would you, George?
Well, of course not. Is that okay with you, Mary?
Fine by me.
Great, thanks.
So, George walked Mary home. Is that important, Joseph?
I say it is, because even though Mary lived only 4 blocks away, it took them 2 hours to get there.
Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight. Come out tonight. Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight? And dance by the light of the moon.
Dog! Gosh, just like an organ. Gee whiz. Beautiful. You know something? If it wasn't me talking, I'd say you were the prettiest girl in town.
Well, why don't you say it?
I don't know. Maybe I will. How old are you anyway?
18.
18!
Too young or too old?
Oh, no, just right. Your age fits you. Hey, look where we are.
Oh, the old Granville house.
Yeah, I gotta throw a rock.
Oh, no, don't. I love that old house.
You know, don't you know about deserted houses? You make a wish and then you throw a rock.
But, George, it's such a lovely place. I wish I lived there.
In there? I wouldn't live there if I was a ghost. Now, watch this. How about it, huh? Pretty good shot, huh? Broke a window.
What's your wish, George?
Well, not just one wish. A whole hatful, Mary. I'm shaking the dust off this crummy little town and going to go see the world. Italy, Greece, the Parthenon, the Colosseum. And then I'm coming back here and go to college and see what they know. And then I'm gonna go build things. I'm gonna build airfields and skyscrapers 100 stories high. I'm gonna build bridges a mile long and then I'm gonna, what? Hey, what? Are you gonna throw a rock too? Hey, that's pretty good. Well, what'd you wish for, Mary?
No. If I tell you, it might not come true.
Hey, Mary. Well, come on, what do you want, huh? Do you want the moon? All you gotta say is just say the word now.
Okay, the moon. I'll take it. Then what?
Oh, well, then what? Well, I throw a lasso around it and pull it down. And then you could swallow it and it would all dissolve, see? And then the moonbeams would shoot out your fingers and toes and ends of your hair and well, am I talking too much?
Yes! Why don't you kiss her instead of talking her to death?
Who's that?
Old man Collins on his front porch.
Youth is wasted on the wrong people.
Hey, hold on. Hey, mister, you come back out here. I'll show you some kissing that'll put hair back on your head. You come back out here now and you...
George!
Well, Uncle Billy.
George, get in the car quick. Your father's had a stroke.
I'm sorry. I've got to go, Mary.
George's father died that night, Clarence, so of course George couldn't go to Europe. But that fall, just as he was ready to leave for college, the directors of the building and loan held a meeting. They were going to appoint a successor.
I want the board to know that George gave up his trip to Europe to help straighten things out here these last few months, and it was greatly appreciated. I think that's all we'll need for you, George. Good luck to you at school. I know you're anxious to make a train.
Yes, I have a taxi waiting downstairs.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to get to my real purpose. I claim this institution is not necessary to this town. Therefore, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to dissolve the building and loan and turn its assets over and liabilities over to the receiver.
Now, it's too soon after Peter Bailey's death to discuss chloroforming the building and loan. It was his faith and devotion that are responsible for this organization.
I'll go further than that. I'll say that to the public. Peter Bailey was the building and loan.
Oh, that's fine, Potter. Coming from you, considering that you probably drove him to his grave.
Peter Bailey was not a businessman. That's what killed him. I don't mean any disrespect to him, God rest his soul. He was a man of high ideals, so-called. But ideals without common sense can ruin his town. Where does that get us? A discontented, lazy rabble instead of a thrifty working class. And all because a few starry-eyed dreamers like Peter Bailey stir them up and fill their heads with a lot of impossible hooey. Now I say that...
Just a minute. Now hold on, Mr. Potter. You're right when you say my father was no businessman. I know that. Why he ever started this cheap penny-ante building and loan, I'll never know. But neither you nor anybody else can say anything against his character, because his whole life was... Why, in 25 years since he and Uncle Billy started this thing, he never once thought of himself. Isn't that right, Uncle Billy?
You got that right.
He didn't save enough money to send Harry and me to school, but he did help a few people get out of your slums, Mr. Potter. And what's wrong with that? Why, here, you're all businessmen here. Doesn't it make them better citizens? Doesn't it make them better customers? You said, what'd you say just a minute ago? That they had to wait and save their money before they even thought about a decent home? Well, wait for what? Until their children grow up and leave them? Until they're so old and broken down that they... Do you know how long it takes a working man to save $5,000? You just remember this, Mr. Potter, that this rabble you're talking about, they do most of the working and paying and living and dying in this community. Well, is it too much to have them work and pay and live and die in a couple of decent rooms and a bath? Anyway, my father didn't think so. People were human beings to him, but to you, a warped, frustrated old man, they're cattle. Well, in my book, he died a much richer man than you'll ever be.
I'm not interested in your book. I'm talking about the building and loan.
I know very well what you're talking about. You're talking about something you can't get your fingers on, and it's galling you. That's what you're talking about. Well, I've said too much. You're the board here. You do what you want with this thing. But just one more thing, though. This town needs this measly one-horse institution, if only to have some place where people can come without crawling to Potter. Come on, Uncle Billy.
Sentimental hogwash. I want my motion.
They're just coming out of the boardroom. I'll have to call you back. What happened, George? All we heard was a lot of yelling.
Oh boy, Matilda. You should have heard George.
Yeah, well, they're voting us down in theirs.
George, get out of here. You missed your boat trip. You want to miss college too?
Don't worry about the board. They're putting us out of business.
So what?
I can get another job. I'm only 55.
You're 58.
George! They voted Potter down. We're still in business.
Oh, you're still in business.
But there's one condition, George. They've appointed you to take your father's place.
Appointed me? But I'm going to college. Uncle Billy here, he's your man.
Oh, you can keep him on. That's all right.
Well, no, let's get this thing straight. I'm leaving right now. I'm going to school. I mean, this is my last chance.
But George, You've got to take it. They'll vote with pot or otherwise.
So, George Bailey didn't go to college.
That's right, Clarence. He gave his college money to his brother Harry, and Harry went instead.
But what happened to that good-looking girl? You know, Mary.
Oh, George saw her now and then. Not very often, though, because Mary went away to school, too. Anyway, George waited 4 years more for Harry to come back and take over the building alone. Then he could still see the world. He planned to work in the oil fields of Venezuela.
There she blows! Hey, say, Uncle Billy, you know what the 3 most wonderful sounds on earth are?
Breakfast is served, lunch is served, dinner is served.
No. Anchor chains, plane motors, and train whistles. Oh, well, here's the professor now.
Well, if it isn't George Geographic Explorer Bailey. Uncle Billy, you haven't changed a bit.
Nobody changes around here, you know that.
Oh, am I glad to see you.
Say, where's Mother?
She's home cooking the fatted calf. Come on, let's go.
Oh, wait. This is Ruth Dakin.
Ruth Dakin Bailey, if you don't mind.
Huh? Well, I warned you I had a surprise. Here she is. Meet the wife.
Well, what do you know? Wife! Well, how do you do? What am I doing? Congratulations. Harry, why didn't you tell somebody? I mean, and what's a pretty girl like you marrying this two-headed brother of mine?
Well, I'll tell you, it's purely mercenary. My father offered him a job.
Oh, he gets you and a job. Oh, Harry's cup runneth over. Come on, Ruth. Let's start ahead and leave the bags for the fellas.
All right.
George, about that job. Ruth spoke out of turn. I never said I'd take it. You've been holding the bag for 4 years, and, well, I won't let you down.
It's all right, Harry. It's all right.
George.
And that night, the homecoming for Harry became his wedding party. Uncle Billy familiarized himself with the spirits.
Oh boy. I feel so good. I could spit in Potter's eye. I think I will. What do you say? Maybe I should go home. If you just point me in the right direction.
Right down there.
That way, huh? Okay, old building alone, pal. See you later. I'm all right.
George.
Yeah, I'm out here on the porch, Mother. Just thought I'd get some air.
How do you like the new sister-in-law?
She's swell.
Looks like she'll keep Harry on his toes.
Yeah, she'll keep him out of Bedford Falls anyway.
George, did you know that Mary Hatch is back in town?
Yeah.
Nice girl, Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, stop grumbling. Give me one good reason you shouldn't call on Mary.
Well, Sam Wainwright. Sam's crazy about her.
Well, she's not crazy about him.
Well, now, how do you know that? Did she discuss it with you?
Besides, Sam is away in New York, and you're here in Bedford Falls.
And all's fair in love and war?
Well, I don't know about war.
All right, Mother. I think I'll go out and find a girl and do a little passionate necking.
George!
Bye, Mrs. Bailey. By the way, do you want any books at the library?
The library? George, you go and see Mary, you hear?
Hello, George.
Oh, hello, Mary. I just happened to be passing by.
Your mother just phoned and said you were on your way over to pay me a visit.
My mother just called you? How did she know?
Well,
I didn't tell anybody. I just went for a walk, and I happened to be passing by. But I went for a walk, that's all. I mean, well, when did you get back?
Tuesday. Would you like to come in?
Well, I guess, since I'm here. Say, where'd you get that dress?
Do you like it?
Well, it's all right. I thought you'd go back to New York with Sam and Francie and the rest of them.
Oh, I worked there a couple of vacations, but I don't know. I guess I was homesick.
Homesick? For Bedford Falls?
Yes, and my family and everything. Would you like to sit down?
All right, for a minute. I still can't understand it, though. You know, I didn't tell anybody I was coming here.
Would you rather leave?
Well, no, I don't want to be rude.
It was nice about Harry and Ruth, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, that's all right.
Well, don't you like her?
Oh, of course I like her. She's a peach.
Oh, it's just marriage in general you're not enthusiastic about, huh?
Well, no, I mean, marriage is okay for Harry and Sam Wainwright and you.
Mary, who's out there with you?
It's George Bailey, Mother.
George Bailey, what does he want?
I don't know. What do you want, George?
Me? Well, not a thing. I just came in to get warm.
He's making violent love to me, Mother.
You tell him to go right back home and don't you leave the house. Sam Wainwright promised to call from New York tonight, didn't he?
Well, your mother needn't, I mean, you know I didn't really come here for...
What did you come here for?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you tell me. You're supposed to be the one with all the answers. I mean,
Why
you tell
don't
me.
you go home?
Well, that's where I'm going then. I don't know why I came here in the first place.
Mary, the telephone, it's Sam.
I'll get it. Hee-haw, hello, Sam. How are you?
Oh, great. Gee, it's good to hear your voice again.
Oh, well, that's awfully sweet of you, Sam. There's an old friend of yours here, George Bailey.
You mean old Mossback George?
Yes, old Mossback George.
Hee-haw! Put him on!
Wait a minute, I'll call him. George!
He doesn't want to speak to George, you idiot.
He does so. We asked for him. George! Sam wants to speak with you.
Hello, Sam.
Hey, a fine pal you are. What are you trying to do, steal my girl?
What do you mean? I mean, no one's trying to steal your girl.
No, wait a minute. I want to talk to both of you. Tell Mary to get on the extension.
Mother's on the extension.
I am not.
We can both hear you. George, just put your head a little closer.
Oh, okay.
There, that's better. We're listening, Sam.
I have a big deal coming up that's going to make us all rich. George, you remember that night at Martini's bar when you told me about making plastics out of soybeans?
Huh? Oh, yeah, soybeans, yeah.
Well, my father's checked into it, George, see? And now he's going to build a factory outside of Rochester. How do you like that?
Rochester? Why Rochester?
Well, why not? Can you think of anything better?
Oh, I don't know. Why not right here in Bedford Falls? You remember that old tool and machinery works? You tell your father he can get that for a song, and all the labor he wants, too. Half the town was thrown out of work when they closed down.
That's so. Well, I'll tell him. Hey, that sounds great. Oh, baby, I knew you'd come through. Now, here's the point, George. I may have a job for you. That is, unless you're still married to the old broken-down building and loan. Mary.
I'm here.
You tell that guy I'm giving him the chance of a lifetime, you hear?
He says it's the chance of a lifetime.
Give me that phone. Now you listen to me, Mary. I don't want any plastics. I don't want any job. I don't want to get married ever to anyone. You understand that? I want to do what I want to do. And you're not Oh, Mary.
Oh, George.
Oh, Mary. I love you.
Oh, George, I love you too.
George and Mary were married, and following the wedding and reception, George's old pal Ernie, the cab driver, drove the happy couple to the train station.
Hey, where are you two going on this here now honeymoon?
We're gonna shoot the works, Ernie. A whole week in New York, a whole week in Bermuda, the highest hotels, the oldest champagne, the richest caviar, the hottest music, and the prettiest wife.
Here's the kitty, Ernie. $2,000. I feel like a bootlegger's wife.
So you're finally getting out of Bedford Falls, huh? Then what?
Yeah, then what, honey?
After that, who cares?
That does it. Hey, Mrs. Bailey, I haven't kissed you since...
Hey, George, there's something funny going on over there. Look over there at the bank. It looks like a run.
Huh? Pull over a minute, will you, Ernie?
George, let's not stop, please. Let's go straight to the station.
Well, now, wait a minute. I better see what it is. I'll be right back.
George, please. George!
What is this, Uncle Billy? A holiday? Why are the doors locked? There's a crowd out front.
Oh, this is a pickle, George.
All right, now what happened?
All I know is the bank called our loan. I had to hand over all our cash.
All of it?
Every last cent of it.
Holy mackerel!
And then I got scared, George, and I closed the doors.
Our charter says we need to stay open until 6 o'clock or we'll lose our license.
Bailey Brothers building it.
Get me George.
George, it's Potter.
Hello? George, there's a rumor around town that you've closed your doors. Is that true?
No, it isn't.
Do you need any police? Mobs get pretty ugly sometimes, you know.
We're fine.
Yeah, we'll see. Now, George, I'm going all out to help you in this crisis. I've just guaranteed the bank sufficient funds to meet their needs. They'll close for a week and then reopen. I may lose a fortune, but I'm willing to guarantee your people too. Just tell them to bring their shares over here and I'll pay them 50 cents on the dollar.
Oh, you don't miss a trick, do you, Potter? Well, you're gonna miss this one.
If you close your doors before 6 p.m., you will never reopen.
He just took over the bank, Billy. Open the doors, let him in. Now, just remember that this thing isn't as black as it appears. I have some news for you folks. I just talked to Old Man Potter, and he's guaranteed cash payments at the bank.
How about our money, George? Where's our money?
Now, please, wait a minute. Listen to me. You're thinking of this place all wrong. The money's not here. Wait a minute. Let me tell you. Your money's in people's houses. In the Kennedy house, in the McLaren house, and in your house, and 100 others. Now, what are you going to do? Foreclose on them?
I got $242 in here, and $242 isn't going to break anyone.
All right, Charlie, all right. Now you'll get your money in 60 days.
60 days?
Well, that's what you agreed to when you bought your shares.
I got my money. Old Man Potter's taken over the bank. He'll pay you 50 cents on every dollar.
Now, wait a minute. Please, folks, please don't leave. I beg of you not to do this. If Potter gets a hold of your shares, he'll be owning this building and loan. He's got the bank, he's got the bus line, he's got the department stores, and now he's after us. Because he wants to keep you living in his shacks and paying the kind of rent he decides to charge. Now, we can get through this all right, but we've got to stick together. We've got to have faith in each other.
My husband's out of work. We need money.
I've got doctor bills to pay.
Can't feed my kids with faith.
How much do you need? We've still got some money. We've got $2,000 from the wedding.
Hey, Mary! Well, I've got $2,000 here. That'll tide us over until the bank reopens. Well, all right, Charlie. How much do you need?
$242.
Oh, Charlie, just enough to tide you over until the bank reopens.
I'll take $242.
Okay. Uncle Billy, give Charlie $242. All right, now, Ed, how much just to get by?
$20, I suppose.
Now we're talking. Now, Mrs. Thompson, how about you?
But it's your own money,
Never mind that. How much do you want, Mrs. Thompson?
Could I have $17.50?
17. Oh, bless your heart. Of course you can have it. Oh, Uncle Billy, give her $17.50. Now pay it back when you can. All right. Who's next?
Oh, look at the clock. Look.
5 seconds. 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. 6 o'clock. We made it. Lock that door, Uncle Billy. Boy, we're still in business and we've got $2 left. A toast. A toast to Mama Dollar and Papa Dollar. And if you want to keep this old building and loan in business, you better have a family real quick.
Bailey Brothers building in... Oh, just a minute. George, there's a call for you.
Well, look, will you get my wife on the phone? I mean, she's probably over at her mother.
Mrs. Bailey is on the phone.
I don't want Mrs. Bailey. I want my... Oh, Mrs. Bailey. Yes, that is my wife. Mary? Hello? Listen, dear, I'm sorry, but come home. Well, what home? 320 Sycamore? Well, what? Whose home is that? Oh, the Waldorf Hotel, huh?
That doesn't look like the Waldorf.
Oh no, number 320 Sycamore was the old Granville house, the one George and Mary threw rocks at and made wishes. Mary prepared the house, including a turkey dinner, romantic decorations, and even a marriage bed.
Welcome home, Mr. Bailey.
Well, I'll be.
Remember the night we broke the windows in this old house? This is what I wished for.
Darling, you're wonderful.
Yes, sir, that's where they spent their honeymoon. That's where they started their lives together. Mary made the leaky old house a home, while George toiled away at the building and loan office, providing houses for people like Giuseppe Martini.
Hey, Martini! You ready a new house?
Rent. You heard that, Mr. Bailey? I own this house.
Me, Giuseppe Martini, I own my own house. No more we live like pigs in a potter's field.
We have something for you and your family, Mr. Martini. George and I bring something for all the new owners.
For the Martinis? Maria, come quick! Our first housewarming gifts! And bring the kids!
Bread, so that this house may never know hunger. Salt, that life may always have flavor.
And wine, that joy and prosperity may reign forever. Enter the Martini Castle.
Bailey houses were popping up all over the place, mostly owned by people that used to live in Potter's Field. And Potter had had just about enough of that. So after a couple of years, old man Potter decided to call our George into his office.
Sit down, George, sit down. Have a cigar?
Thank you, sir. Quite a cigar, Mr. Potter.
You like it? I'll send you a box.
Well, I suppose I'll find out sooner or later, but just exactly what did you want to see me about?
George, now that's what I like so much about you. I'm an old man and most people hate me, but I don't like them either, so it makes it all even. You know just as well as I do that I run practically everything in this town, but the Bailey Building and Loan. You know also that for a number of years I've been trying to get control of it, or kill it. But I haven't been able to do it. You've been stopping me. In fact, you beat me, George, and that takes some doing. Take during the Depression, for instance. You and I were the only ones that kept our heads. You saved the building and loan, and I saved all the rest.
Yes, well, most people will say you stole all the rest.
The envious ones say that, George, the suckers. Now, let's look at your side. Young man, 27, 28, married, making, say, 40 a week?
45.
45.
45.
Now, if you were some ordinary yokel, I'd say you were doing fine. But George Bailey is intelligent, ambitious. He hates the building and loan almost as much as I do. He's been dying to get out of town ever since he was born. Young man, the smartest one of the crowd, who has to sit by and watch his friends go places because he's trapped into frittering his life away, paying nursemaid to a lot of immigrants. Do I paint a correct picture, George, or do I exaggerate?
What's your point, Mr. Potter?
My point is that you're the only man in town who's licked me. I want to hire you, manage my affairs. I'll start you out at $20,000 a year.
$20,000 a year?
You wouldn't mind living in the nicest house in town, buying your wife a lot of nice clothes, a couple of business trips to New York a year, maybe once in a while Europe. You wouldn't mind that, would you, George?
Would I? You're not talking to somebody else around here, are you? I mean, you're sure you're talking to me? I'm George Bailey. Don't you remember me, the building and loan? Remember?
Yes, George Bailey, whose ship has just come in, provided he has brains enough to climb aboard.
Well, what about the building and loan?
Oh, confounded man. I'm offering you a 3-year contract at $20,000 a year. Is it a deal or isn't it?
Mr. Potter, I know I ought to jump at the chance, but I wonder if you might give me 24 hours to think about it.
Sure. You go home and talk to your wife.
Yeah, I'd like that.
In the meantime, I'll draw up the papers and soon you'll be managing my affairs.
Your affairs? Well, no. Well, the answer's no, doggone it. Well, you sit here and you spin your little webs and you think the whole world revolves around you and your money. Well, it doesn't, Mr. Potter. In the whole vast configuration of things, I'd say you were nothing but a scurvy little spider.
What did Mr. Potter want, George?
Oh, nothing. Nothing. Just talk. Nothing. Oh, gee, Mary Hatch, why in the world would you ever marry a guy like me anyway?
To keep from being an old maid.
I was going to see the world. I was going to build things. I was going to give you the moon. What have I given you? What have I given you? Not even a new dress. Not for months. You could have married Sam Wainwright, anybody else in town.
I didn't want to marry anybody else in town. I want my baby to look like you.
You didn't even have a honeymoon. I promised you. You're what?
My baby.
You mean, Mary, you're on the nest?
George Bailey Lasso Stork.
And we're off air. We'll take a 20-minute intermission. Don't dilly-dally. We have a special treat for you before the second half of the show begins. Concessions are open at the Overmiller Hall. You'll find bathrooms on your way there. Welcome back. What's that? Oh, I'm getting the signal that we're about to go live. When you see the on-air sign light up, please help start our broadcast with a rousing round of applause. Here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In Auburn, California. I'm your host, Dennis Kane. Before we hear the conclusion of our show, we have a special treat for you. Taking a break from her sold-out tour of Djibouti and Swaziland, it's my great pleasure to welcome the soulful golden voice of Ren Alser singing Santa Baby. And now we return to Bedford Falls, where George has just learned the joyous news of their first child. Well, Mary had her baby, a boy.
You don't say.
Then she had a girl.
Well, what do you know?
Night after night, George would come home late from the office. Things weren't good with the building and loan. Potter was really bearing down hard. Then came the war. Mary had another baby by then, but still had time to run the USO. Gower and Uncle Billy sold war bonds and entertained the troops. Bert the cop was wounded in North Africa, got the Silver Star. Ernie, the taxi driver, parachuted into France. Harry Bailey topped them all. A Navy flyer, he shot down 15 planes, 2 of them as they were about to crash into a transport full of soldiers.
Yes, but George. What about George?
George? 4F on account of his ear. George fought the Battle of Bedford Falls. Air Raid Warden, paper drives, scrap drives, rubber drives. On VE Day, he wept and prayed. VJ Day, he wept and prayed again.
We're getting pretty close to today, aren't we, sir?
Yes, Clarence, you now know almost everything you have to know about George Bailey, except what happened that finds him down there at this moment, wanting to die.
Well, sir? Well?
Well, today is the day before Christmas, and Billy is at the bank to make a deposit when he ran into Old Man Potter.
Well, Mr. Henry F. Potter. Come to the bank to deposit some more loot, huh?
Sure, you old fool.
How do you like the news in the paper, Mr. Potter? Harry Bailey wins Congressional Medal of Honor, huh? You just can't keep those Bailey boys down now, can you?
Let me see that newspaper.
Here you go. Sorry I can't chat, you old thief. Gotta make a deposit.
Good morning, Mr. Bailey.
Good morning, Doris. Here you are, deposit slip, bank book, and very Merry Christmas to you.
You too. Mr. Bailey, say, aren't you forgetting something? You've forgotten something, haven't you?
What's that?
Well, it's... You want to make a deposit.
Certainly.
Well, it's customary to bring the money with you.
Well, it's gone. Where did I put it? Where did I put that money?
A terrible thing, Clarence, terrible. Uncle Billy couldn't find the money because the envelope with the $8,000 was folded up in that newspaper he gave to Old Man Potter. At the same time as Billy started looking for the deposit, Violet came to visit George at the building and loan.
Oh, hello, Vi.
Suppose you're getting things set back at the house for the party tonight.
Well, you know you're invited. Say, what's wrong?
You see right through me, don't you?
Oh, how much do you need?
I hate doing this to you, George, but I won't be asking for any more after this.
You planning on robbing a bank, Vi?
I'm going to Manhattan.
Ah, what's in Manhattan?
Why, everything's in Manhattan. A new start, at least.
Well, that's a big step, Vi. What's the matter with starting a new life right here in Bedford Falls?
Well, I'll be. Never thought I'd hear that from you, George Bailey. I thought you hated this place.
Oh, I did. But this town has a charm of its own.
You should give tours, maybe.
Well, I'm just thinking of you, Violet. Manhattan's a big place to take in on your own.
I've made a decision. There's a midnight train tonight, and I plan to be on it.
Takes a lot of character to leave your hometown and start all over again. Here's some dough.
No, George, don't.
Well, what do you want to do? Hawk your furs and that hat? You want to walk to New York? You know, they charge for meals and rent up there just the same as they do in Bedford Falls.
Yeah, sure.
It's a loan. I mean, that's my business. Building and loan. Besides, you'll get a job. Good luck to you.
I'm glad I know you, George Bailey.
Say hello to New York for me.
Merry Christmas, George.
George!
What's going on? The bank examiner's here, and here? Yes, he wants the accounts payable. I mean, what's the matter with you?
The money, the 8,000.
What, Uncle Billy? What happened to it?
I don't know. I was going to deposit it, and then when I went to the bank, I didn't have it.
$8,000, Uncle Billy. The bank examiner's here, and it's not our money. It belongs to the depositors.
I'm so sorry, George. I just don't know what happened.
Well, the first place you look is your coat pocket, and that's where I told you to put it when you left.
I'm no good to you, George. I'm no good.
Well, let's go then. We have to retrace your steps. We'll leave no stone unturned.
And as George and Billy went looking for the deposit, Potter was alone in his office.
That old fool Billy Bailey gave me this newspaper. What? What's this envelope? There's $8,000 in here. That must have been the deposit he was making. He gave me the money. It's his own fault. Find its keepers. What a Christmas present. And he doesn't even know it. There's not a court in the county that would find me guilty. This will be the end of Bailey Building and Loan.
Did you put the envelope in your pocket?
Yeah.
Uncle Billy, we've got to find this money.
I'm no good to you, George. I'm no...
I mean, do you have a secret hiding place here in the house?
I've gone over the whole house, even in rooms that I've been locked ever since I lost your Aunt Laura.
Listen to me. Think.
I can't think anymore, George. It hurts.
Where's that money, you stupid, silly old fool? Do you realize what this means? It means bankruptcy and scandal and prison. I mean, one of us is going to jail, and, well, it's not going to be me.
Hello, darling.
Hello, Daddy.
Hello, Daddy.
Daddy, did you bring the wreath?
What wreath?
The Merry Christmas wreath for the window.
Oh, I left it at the office.
Is it snowing?
Yeah, just started.
Where's your coat and hat?
I left them at the office.
What's the matter?
Yeah, nothing's the matter. Everything's all right.
Isn't it wonderful about Harry? We're famous, George. I'll bet I had 50 calls today about the parade, the banquets. Your mother's so excited.
Must she keep playing that?
I have to practice for the party tonight, Daddy.
Mommy says we can stay up until midnight and sing Christmas carols.
Can Daddy sing?
Better hurry and shave, George. Families will be here soon.
Families? I don't want families over here. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Did you have a hectic day?
Oh, yeah. Another big red letter day for the Baileys.
Daddy, the Browns next door have a new car. You should see it.
Well, what's the matter with our car? Isn't it good enough for you?
Yes, Daddy.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Excuse you for what?
I burped.
All right, darling, you're excused. Now go upstairs and see what little Zuzu wants.
What's the matter with Zuzu?
Oh, she caught a cold. Caught it coming home from school. They gave her a flower for a prize and she didn't want to crush it, so she didn't button up her coat.
But what is it, a sore throat?
The doctor says it's nothing serious.
Was the doctor here?
I called him right away.
Is she running a temperature?
Just a teensy one.
Gosh, it's an old house. I don't know why we don't have pneumonia, every one of us. This drafty old barn. Might as well be living in a refrigerator. Why'd we have to live here in the first place and stay around this measly, crummy old town?
George, what's wrong?
Wrong? Well, everything's wrong. You call this a happy family? Why do we have to have all these kids?
Dad, how do you spell frankincense?
Well, I don't know. Ask your mother.
Where are you going?
Well, up to see Zuzu.
Hi, Daddy.
Well, what happened to you?
I want a flower.
Well, where do you think you're going?
I want to give my flower a drink.
Well, here, give Daddy the flower. I'll give it a drink.
Look, Daddy, some of the petals came off. Paste it.
Yeah, all right. I'll put these in my pocket. We'll paste it later. It'll be good as new.
Give the flower a drink.
Now, will you do something for me?
What?
Will you try to get some sleep?
I'm not sleepy. I want to look at my flower.
I know, but just go to sleep, and then you can dream about it. It'll be a whole garden.
It will?
Telephone! I'll get it. Hello? Yes, this is Mrs. Bailey. Oh, thank you, Mrs. Welsh. The doctor says she'll be out of bed in time for her Christmas dinner.
Is that Zuzu's teacher?
Yes.
Well, let me speak to her. Hello, Mrs. Welch? This is George Bailey. Say, what kind of teacher are you anyway? What do you mean sending her home like that, half naked?
George!
Is this the sort of thing we pay taxes for, to have teachers like you? Silly, stupid, careless people who send our kids home without any clothes on? Oh, that's just so stupid.
Hello, Mrs. Welsh? I want to apologize. Hello? Hello? She hung up.
I'll hang her up.
Now, who do you think you are?
But wait a minute. Hello? Who is this? Oh, Mr. Welch. Okay, that's fine, Mr. Welch. Oh, gives me a chance to tell you what I really think of your wife.
George!
Will you get out of this and let me handle it? Hello? Oh, you will, huh? Okay, Mr. Welch, anytime you think you're man enough. Hello? Oh!
Daddy, how do you spell hallelujah?
What do you think I am, a dictionary? I mean, Janie, haven't you learned that silly tune yet? You played it over and over again. Stop it! Just stop it!
George, what are you doing?
I'm sorry, Mary. Janie, I'm sorry. I didn't mean... You go on and practice. And Pete, I owe you an apology, too. I'm sorry. What did you want to know?
Nothing, Dad.
What's the matter with everybody? Janie, go on. I told you to practice. Now go on and play.
Oh, Daddy.
George, why must you torture the children? Why don't you just...
Mary!
Where's Daddy going?
Bedford, 247, please.
Is Daddy in trouble?
Yes, Pete.
Shall I pray for him?
Yes, Janie, pray very hard.
Me too.
You too, Tommy. Hello, Uncle Billy?
So that's it, George. You're short $8,000 in the books, eh?
Please, Mr. Potter, I'll pay any sort of interest. If you still want the building and loan,
You say it was lost. Did you notify the police?
Well, no, sir. I haven't done that yet. Harry's homecoming tomorrow and all. Just...
Why did you come to me? What about your good friend Sam Wainwright?
Well, I can't get a hold of him. He's in Europe.
What kind of security would I have, George? What collateral?
Well, I have some life insurance, a $15,000 policy.
How much is your equity in it?
Well, $500.
And you want $8,000? Look at you. You used to be so cocky. You were gonna go out and conquer the world. You once called me a war-frustrated old man. What are you but a war-frustrated young man? Crawling in here on your hands and knees for help. No securities, no stocks, no bonds. You're worth more dead than you are alive. Why don't you go to the riffraff you love so much and ask them for help?
I'll do anything, Mr. Potter. Please. Please help me, my wife, my kids.
You know what I'm gonna do for you? Since the state examiner is still here, as a stockholder of the building and loan, I'm gonna swear out a warrant for your arrest. Misappropriation of funds,
Mr.
manipulation,
Potter,
malfeasance.
They can't arrest me.
Go on and run. You can't hide in a little town like this. Merry Christmas, George.
Hey, Merry Christmas! Glad you come, huh? How about some of that good spaghetti?
Oh, we got everything.
Where's George, sir? Where?
After running out of Potter's office, George ended up at Martini's bar. He had a couple of drinks, Clarence. He's just sitting there.
What's he saying? Who's he talking to?
God, dear Father in heaven, I'm not a praying man, but if you're up there and you can hear me, show me the way. I'm at the end of my rope. Show me the way, God.
Are you all right, George? You want somebody to take you home?
Why you drink so much, my friend? You don't feel good? Please, go home, Mr. Bailey.
Bailey? You say Bailey. Which Bailey?
This gentleman is Mr. Bailey, George Bailey.
George Bailey, ha! And the next time you talk to my wife like that, you'll get worse. It isn't enough that she slaves teaching your stupid idiots.
You get out of here, Mr. Welch. You hit my best friend. You get out.
All right.
Mr. Bailey, you okay?
Who was that?
Mr. Welch. But don't worry, he don't come into this place no more. I'll get something for your face. It's bleeding.
I'm all right.
Please don't go away, Mr. Bailey. Please.
Just leave me alone. Just leave me alone.
George is headed to the bridge now, Clarence. Can you see him?
He looks like he's gonna jump.
It's time, Clarence.
Excuse me, you there. Have you got the time?
My watch is dead.
Thanks, just the same. Oh, help me! Help, I can't swim!
Hold it, mister. Well, I'm coming.
What the Sam Hill are you two doing? This storm's not fit for man or beast. Now get out of that water. Are you two all right? Do you need a doctor?
No, I'm all right.
No, I'm fine. This underwear, I haven't had time to get anything stylish. My wife gave me this on my last birthday. I passed away in it.
Passed away?
Oh, I see Tom Sawyer's drying out too.
Who?
My book. I left in such a hurry. I brought Tom Sawyer with me. You should read the new book Mark Twain is working on.
How'd you happen to fall in?
Oh, I jumped in. I jumped in to save you.
You jumped in to save me?
Well, I did, didn't I? You didn't go through with it, did you?
Go through with what?
Suicide.
It's against the law to commit suicide around here.
Yeah, it's against the law where I come from, too.
Where do you come from?
Heaven.
What?
I had to act quickly. That's why I jumped in. I knew if I were drowning, you would try to save me. And you see, you did. That's how I saved you.
Oh, that's very funny.
Your lips bleeding, George.
Yeah, I got a bust in the jaw in answer to a prayer.
Oh, no, George. I'm the answer to your prayer.
Well, how do you know my name?
Oh, I know all about you. I've watched you grow up from a little boy.
Well, what are you, a mind reader or something?
Oh, no.
Well, who are you then?
Clarence Oddbody, AS2.
Oddbody AS2. What's that, AS2?
Angel, second class.
Hey, I'm getting out of here. You may not need a doctor, but I do.
Cheerio, my good man.
Hey, look here. Why'd you want to save me?
Because I'm your guardian angel.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
Ridiculous of you to think of killing yourself for money. $8,000.
Yeah, just things like that. And how'd you know that?
I told you, I'm your guardian angel. I know everything about you.
Well, you look like about the kind of angel I'd get. Sort of a fallen angel, aren't you? What happened to your wings?
I haven't won my wings yet. That's why I'm an angel second class.
Oh, I see.
But you can help me earn them, George, by letting me help you.
You don't happen to have $8,000 on you?
No. We don't use money in heaven.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting. Comes in pretty handy down here, bub.
Oh, tut.
Well, I found out a little late that I'm worth more dead than alive.
Now look, you mustn't say things like that. I won't get my wings with that attitude. You just don't know all you've done. If it hadn't been for you...
Yeah, if it hadn't been for me, everybody'd be in a lot better off. My wife, my kids, my friends.
This isn't gonna be easy.
They'd all be better off if I hadn't been born.
What'd you say?
I said I wish I'd never been born.
George, that's wonderful.
Wonderful?
The idea you just gave me. Well, you've got your wish. You've never been born.
Never been born.
Exactly. No worries, no $8,000 to get, nothing. You simply don't exist.
Hey, wait a minute. This ear of mine. Well, say something else in that ear.
You don't have a bad ear anymore, don't you see? You're not George Bailey that you think you are. You're nobody.
Well, that's the doggonest thing.
Your lips stop bleeding too, George.
What do you know about that? Well, what happened? Well, I need a drink. That's what I need. What about you, Angel? You want a drink?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, come on. We'll go out as soon as our clothes are dry.
Our clothes are dry.
Hey, so they are. That's funny. The stove's hotter than I thought. Well, look, let's get dressed. We'll stroll over to Martini's and then, well, excuse me, I'll stroll, you fly.
I haven't got my wings.
Oh, that's right. You got your wings, yeah. Well, a couple of drinks and we'll both fly. Well, there's a place to sit down, so sit down. Oh, hello, Nick. Clarence, welcome to the best bar in Bedford Falls.
Bedford Falls, don't you mean Pottersville?
Pottersville? Well, hey, where's Martini?
Look, I'm the boss. You want a drink or don't you?
Okay, all right. Well, a double bourbon quick, huh?
Okay. What's yours, bub?
I was just thinking mulled wine.
Huh?
Heavy on the cinnamon and light on the cloves, please. Off with you, my lad, and lively now.
Hey, look, mister, we serve our drinks here for men who want to get drunk fast. We don't need any characters around here to give the joint atmosphere.
Now, come on here. Just give him the same as I ordered. He's okay.
2 double bourbon.
What about this place? It's all changed.
All of Bedford Falls has changed. You're having your wish, George. You've never been born. Oh, there'll be lots of things you've never seen before. Oh, good! Somebody's just made it!
Made what?
Every time you hear a bell ring, it means that some angel's just got his wings.
What did you say?
Look, Clarence, I don't think you better talk about angels around here.
Don't they believe in angels?
Well, yeah, they believe in them, but you know, it's just...
Well, then why should people be surprised when they see one?
Huh?
Don't mind him, Nick. He just never grew up. I mean, well, how old are you anyway, Clarence?
293. Next May.
That does it. Out, you two pixies. Go through the door or out the window. Go on, get...
But where's Martini? Will you just tell him that I'm...
Stop asking about Martini. He ain't here. Well. Look who crawled out from under whatever hole he's been hiding in.
Hey, it's Mr. Gower.
Hey, you rummy. Didn't I tell you never to come panhandling around here?
George, look.
Mr. Gower, this is George Bailey. Don't you know me?
Will you buy me a drink, mister? Just one drink, mister.
Binky, throw the rummy out.
You got it. Oh, no, please.
Hey, Nick, isn't that Mr. Gower, the druggist?
The rumhead spent 20 years in jail for poisoning some kid. If you know him, you must be a jailbird yourself. Binky, here's 2 more. Get him out of here.
You got it, boss.
Here, let me help you up from the snow. It's quite cold.
What's wrong with Mr. Gower?
Mr. Gower doesn't know you, George. You see, George, you weren't there to stop Mr. Gower from putting that poison into that prescription.
What do you mean I wasn't there? What are you, a hypnotist? Why am I seeing all these strange things here?
Don't you understand? It's because you were never born.
Then if I wasn't born, who am I?
You're nobody. You have no identity.
What do you mean, no identity? My name's George Bailey.
There is no George Bailey. You have no papers, no cards, no driver's license, no 4F card, no insurance policy.
Zuzu's petals.
What?
Well, Zuzu's petals, my little girl, some petals fell off her flower, and I told her I'd fix it, and I stuck them in my pocket, but they're gone too. Everything is gone.
But you've been given a great gift, George. The chance to see what the world would be like if you had never been born.
Oh, you're crazy. You're crazy as a bedbug, and you're driving me crazy too. Now look, I'm going home to my wife and my family, understand that? And I'm going home alone.
You know the drill. Hands behind your back, sister.
Keep your hands off me. Why don't you bust somebody else for a change?
Hey, officer, where'd that building and loan move to?
The building and what?
The Bailey building and loan. It was up there.
They went out of business years ago. Now all that's left is this burlesque house.
Not so fast, copper. I know better.
Hey, Violet. Hey, listen. That's Violet Bick.
Oh, I know. Believe me, I know.
I know that girl.
Who doesn't? Now get out of our way.
Taxi. Hey, Ernie! Ernie, take me home! I'm going off my nut.
Where do you live?
Oh, now, doggone it, Ernie. Don't you start pulling that stuff, too. You know where I live. 320 Sycamore. Now, hurry up.
Okay, 320 Sycamore.
Yeah, hurry up. Zuzu's sick.
All right.
Well, look here, Ernie. Straighten me out. I got some bad liquor or something. Listen to me. Now, you're Ernie Bishop, and you live in Bailey Park with your wife and kid. That's right, isn't it?
You seen my wife?
Seen your wife? I've been to your house 100 times.
Look, bud, what's the idea? I live at a shack in Pottersfield. My wife ran away 3 years ago and took the kid. I never seen you before in my life.
Okay, just step on it. Just get me home.
Is this the place?
Of course this is the place.
Well, this house ain't been lived in for 20 years.
Mary! Mary! I'm home! Pete! Tommy! Janie! Zuzu! Where are you?
They're not here, George. You have no children.
Where are they, Clarence? What have you done with them?
All right, put up your hands.
What is this?
No fast moves. Come on out here, both of you.
Oh, Bert, thank heaven you're here. Bert, what's happened to this house? Where's Mary? Where are my kids?
Watch him, Bert.
Come on. I'm gonna take you down to the station.
Bert, now listen to me. It's that fellow there. He says he's an angel. He's trying to hypnotize me.
Don't make me use my nightstick.
Bert, I hate to do this, but...
Run, George! Run, George!
Ma Bailey's boarding house?
Well?
Mother,
what do you want?
Mother, this is George. I thought sure you'd remember me.
George who? If you're looking for a room, there's no vacancy.
Oh, Mother, please try to understand. Something's happened to me. I don't know what it is, but I need a place to stay. Please, let me stay here.
I don't take in strangers.
Well, I'm not a stranger. I know everybody. You know. Your brother-in-law, Uncle Billy.
You know him?
Well, sure I do.
When'd you see him last?
Well, today, over at his house.
That's a lie. He's been in the insane asylum ever since he lost his business. And if you ask me, that's where you belong.
I'm here again, George.
My mother. My own mother didn't even know me?
Strange, isn't it? One man's life touches so many others. And when he isn't around, he leaves a pretty big hole, doesn't he?
Look, you. I've heard of things like this before. You got me on some kind of spell. Well, I'm going to get out of it. I've got to. I know I talked to Billy this afternoon. How can he be in an asylum? I've got to snap out of this. Now, let me think a minute. Bailey Park.
There is no Bailey Park if you weren't here to build it.
We'll see.
This is Bailey Park? People live here, pretty grim.
This is where Bailey Park is supposed to be. What's this gravestone doing here? Why is the name Bailey on it?
That wouldn't be yours.
My father's name is on it, but what's this other name? Why is my brother Harry's name here?
Your brother broke through the ice and drowned at the age of 9.
That's a lie. Harry Bailey went to war. He got the Congressional Medal of Honor. He saved the lives of every man on that transport.
Every man on that transport died. Harry wasn't there to save them because you weren't there to save Harry. You see, George, you really had a wonderful life. Don't you see what a mistake it would be to throw it away?
What do I do now? Clarence, what do I do?
It's your life, George.
What happened to Mary, Clarence?
Mary?
My wife, Mary. What happened to her if I was never born?
I'm not supposed to tell you, George.
I don't know how you know the things you do, but please, if you know where she is, just let me see her. That's all I need to make a decision.
Very well, George, but you're not gonna like it.
Where is she, Clarence?
She's an old maid, George.
Where is she?
She's just about to close up the library. There must be some easier way to earn my wings.
Is the library closed?
It's Christmas Eve. We can't can't stay open all night.
Oh, can I ask you something?
I should really be getting home.
What is there to go home to?
That is none of your business, sir. The library is closed. Maybe you should try back the 26th.
Mary, I'm sorry.
How do you know my name?
All I need is a couple minutes.
I told you, the library is closed.
Please, just 2 minutes. That's all I need. I'll do anything.
You sound desperate. I'll help if I can. What is it?
Isn't this town Bedford Falls?
It used to be, but that was some time ago. I wasn't very old when Potter was elected and took the town along with its name for himself.
So you do know a place called Bedford Falls?
I've seen pictures. It looks like a very nice place. Things have changed, but that's with the times. I have to go.
Mary Hatch, you live on Reed Street, a white Victorian. Your bedroom's at the top of the stairs. You turn to the left. You have an older brother, Marty, and you live with your mother, Edwina.
How do you know all this? What are you, some crazy man? Stop it, I'm leaving.
Don't you know me, Mary? Just let me touch you.
Get your hands off me, I'll call the cops.
The house that you wish for, don't you remember that?
I told you I don't know you. Let me go.
Don't you know me? You must. I mean, Mary, it's George. Don't you know me?
Let me go.
Mary, please. Don't do this to me, Mary. Please, help me. I mean, where are our kids?
What?
I need you, Mary. Help me, Mary.
Get away from me. Help, help,
Mary.
please.
It's George. Mary, please. You're my wife. Oh, Clarence. Clarence. Clarence, where are you? Help me, Clarence. Get me back. I don't care what happens to me. Only get me back to my wife, my kids. Help me, Clarence, please. Please. I want to live again. I want to live again, please. Oh, God. Please let me live again.
George, is that you, George?
Now, you get out of here, Bert. You just get out of here. You come any closer and I'll hit you again.
What the Sam Hill are you yelling for, George?
Come on. George? George? Bert, do you know me?
Know you? You kidding? I've been looking all over town trying to find you. I saw your car plowed into that tree, and I thought maybe, hey, your mouth's bleeding. You sure you're all right?
It is? Hey, my mouth's bleeding. Bert, look at the blood coming out of there. Oh, just paddles. There they are. What do you know about that? Merry Christmas.
Well, Merry Christmas.
Hello, Bedford Falls. Merry Christmas. Wow, Merry Christmas, movie house. Oh, Merry Christmas, you wonderful old building and lawn, you. Merry Christmas, Mr. Potter. Yippee!
Happy New Year to you in jail. Go on home, they're waiting for you.
Mary, I'm home. Hello, Mrs. Bank Examiner.
Mr. Bailey, there's a deficit.
Well, I know. $8,000, I bet, huh?
George, I've got a little paper here.
I bet it's a warrant for my arrest. Isn't that wonderful? I'm going to jail. Merry Christmas! Hey, where's Mary? Look at this wonderful old drafty house. Oh, isn't it wonderful? So where is Mary? I mean, and what's this? These people, these reporters. Merry Christmas, reporters! I mean, have you seen my wife?
Merry Christmas, Daddy!
Kids, Pete, Cheney, Tommy, oh, I could eat you up. Where's your mother?
She went looking for you with Uncle Billy. Daddy!
Oh, Zuzu! Oh, my little ginger snap, how do you feel?
Fine, Daddy. Not a smidge of temperature.
Oh, not a smidge. Hallelujah!
George, darling!
It's Mommy! Mommy's home!
Mary!
George, where have you been? Oh, George!
Oh, Mary, let me touch you. Oh, you're real.
Oh, George!
Oh, you have no idea what's happened to me.
You have no idea what's happened either. Come on, George, quick! They're on their way.
Who's on their way? The police department? The FBI? The National Guard? Well, I'm alive again, Mary. Listen, I'm alive again.
Come on in here now. Now you stand right over here by the tree. Right here, and don't move. Don't move. I hear them now, George. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. Come in, Uncle Billy. Everybody, in here.
Isn't it wonderful? Mary did it, George. Mary did it. She told a few people you were in trouble, and they scattered all over town collecting money. They didn't ask any questions. Just said, if George is in trouble, you can count on me. You never saw anything like it.
What is this, George? Another run on the bank? Here you are. Merry Christmas.
Whoa!
The line phones to the right. Mr. Gower, Merry Christmas. Mr. Martini, step right up now.
Hey, I busted the jukebox too. Mr. Gower.
I made the rounds on my charge accounts.
Oh, Violet Bick!
I'm not going to go, George. I changed my mind.
I wouldn't have a roof over my head if it wasn't for you, George. Here you go. $242.
I've been saving this money for a divorce if I ever get a husband.
Merry Christmas, George.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Mother.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Just a minute. Quiet, everybody. Quiet, quiet. A telegram from London. Mr. Gower, cables you need cash. Stop. My office instructed to advance you up to $25,000. Stop. Hee-haw, Merry Christmas, Sam Wainwright.
Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King.
Hello, George. How are you?
Harry!
Mary! Looks like I got here too late.
Mary, I got him here as quick as I could from the airport. The fool flew all the way down here in a blizzard.
Harry, how about your banquet in Washington?
Oh, I left right in the middle of it as soon as I got Mary's telegram.
How about some wine?
Good idea. A toast to my big brother George, the richest man in town.
All acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind.
What's this book, George?
Oh, Tom Sawyer.
Look, there's an inscription.
George, remember, no man is a failure who has friends. Thanks for the wings. Love, Clarence.
What's that?
That's a Christmas present from a very dear friend of mine.
Look, Daddy. Teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's right. That's right. Attaboy, Clarence.
Here we go.